Hi guys! If you haven't been to my channel before, my name is Macy and I'm that crazy plant lady, and this channel is all about planty things. I wanted to say thank you guys so much for over 600 views on my last video. That is incredibly exciting for me. I know for some people that's not like an insane amount, but for me that's crazy. But anyway, today's video is going to be about 10 things that nobody told me when I first started collecting plants. I just want to apologize if I'm not super consistent on my posting. I just rescued a 5-month-old German Shepherd. He is incredibly needy. He has a whole bunch of anxieties, and he has separation anxiety, he has social anxiety. He just wants to be with me at every single moment of the day. So he's right here. If you hear him cry for attention, I am so sorry. Let's get on with the video. Don't water on a schedule. I think that if you can get on a certain day where you check your plants, that is much better than getting on a schedule. What are you eating? Stop eating sticks! Just stop eating leaves and sticks. Don't water your plants on a schedule. And what I mean by this is don't water your plants like every week or every other week, because plants change their needs. Sorry, I have to watch out because he eats plants. No! Plants change their needs depending on the season, depending on how much they're growing, depending on a lot of things, depending on the light they're getting. So what you need to do is you need to be monitoring your plants and figuring out when they need to be watered, and not on a schedule. You need to know your plants kind of intuitively. I forgot to say this, but I recommend getting a water meter. It's just a meter you stick into the soil and it tells you how dry the soil is. It's really helpful. You just look them up on Amazon. I know this sounds hard, but it gets easier. And this kind of brings me on to number 2. Pinch your succulent leaves. I think that this is the best rule for beginners. A lot of people, they think succulents are so easy. They're the easiest plant to kill at the same time if you overwater them. So you need to pinch their leaves, wait till they wrinkle up, and then water them. Not all soggy, like mushy soggy, but like they're a little floppy. You know what I mean? This translates to regular leaves too a little bit. If they're really, really dry, they're gonna flop. This needs to be watered so bad. This is a coleus. This is actually like an indoor outside plant. It needs to be watered pretty bad. Leaves flop. I have been neglecting my plants a little bit thanks to Zeus, and a lot of my leaves flopped. A lot of my pothos flopped. Pothos are known for being some easy plants, but I neglected them. But you know, most of the time, if you catch it right before your plants start yellowing in leaves, you're good. And even if you drop a few leaves, you're usually able to bring that plant back. It's really when you let every leaf dry up and like crinkle up. I went through that with a coffee plant, but it's okay. It wasn't my favorite plant, so I'm not super mad about it. But I have been neglecting plants thanks to Zeus. On to number 3. Don't pot your plants in pots too big. Someone just left a really kind comment about this. The sad thing is that I do know about this. In the beginning of my plant parenthood journey, I had a lot of large pots laying around, and so I just went ahead and potted things in big pots like my monstera, a few other things, some like pothos, some things, but they're all surviving. My monstera just focused on root growth for months and months and months and months, but it just pushed out a fenestrated leaf, so it's okay. If you pot your plants in pots too big, you can be susceptible to root rot. You can make the plants just not grow because they're focusing all on their root growth. A lot of houseplants actually like to be root bound. This is really less like a tip and more of something that like I wish somebody had told me before I went into buying a lot of plants online and buying a lot of plants in the heat of the moment. Plant prices change. Okay, this is so important. If you bought a Pilea peperomoides like 5 years ago, maybe even more, those were so expensive. Like, they were so expensive. Now you can get one for like $5. Plant prices change, and if you're not willing to spend the money, like $300 for a Monstera albo leaf cutting, don't. Wait till they tissue culture it. Wait till it gets mass produced. Plant prices change, and if you're patient, you can usually get a hold of the plant you want for a price that you can afford. Never plant something in a pot without drainage. Now, I have done this, and I still have a few plants that are surviving, but I let those plants completely dry out before I water them. And they are also really easily replaceable plants like pothos and philodendron, and they're a little bit easier plants to deal with. Don't do this with plants like succulents. Don't do this with just about any plants, really. If you want to put your plant in a pot without drainage, keep it in the nursery pot and just stick it in the pot. That's like the best advice I can give you if you're struggling with root rot. Buying plants is an addiction. You want a plant, you buy it, and then you see one next to it and you're like, oh my God, that wasn't on my wish list, but I want it. And then you buy it. It's a never-ending cycle. You always want more. Once you've got the plant on your wish list, there's more plants on your wish list for your next plant shopping excursion. You're always gonna see something you're gonna be like, oh, that's not on my wish list, but it's only $5 and it's so pretty. And some other plant guru loves it, so might as well. You know, plant shopping is an addiction, and if you're impulsive like me, it can run your budget dry. So y'all really have to keep on top of that. Don't buy plants if you don't think you can take care of them. Now, I know that this is like a really dramatic thing to say, and I think that if you want to spend the money on it, it's your money. I'm not going to price shame you or shame you in buying that plant. I just don't want you to go through that sadness. Don't buy a plant if you don't 100% know that you either can take care of that genus or that you're not going to have a mental breakdown when you kill that plant. Can you afford to kill that plant? Make sure you know what you are buying, also because plants are living things. And you wouldn't want somebody to invite you over and then tell you, okay, sleep on the floor. You don't get any food, right? Like, take care of your plants because they're living things, and deep down they might have feelings. And like, actually no, there's scientific proof that plants do feel. So be nice to your plants, and don't buy plants if you don't think that you can at least take care of it enough to keep it alive. Know what kind of plant you are buying. Now, I have made this kind of a rule for myself because I often kill plants that I have no clue how to care for them. And if I don't identify the plants in the plant store, I let it go. Or at least if I know the genus. This is a string of turtles. I knew I could take care of it because I know how to take care of peperomia, and this is peperomia prostrata. So I bought it. Again, begonias. I bought this as a risk, but then once I knew how to take care of one, I felt like I could take care of the rest. Know what plant you're buying. Just don't buy ferns. That's my biggest advice for a plant owner and a beginner, is just don't buy a fern. It's setting yourself up for failure. Ferns are just the hardest plant to keep unless you love watering things every day. But if you have a large, vast plant collection like me where things can be forgotten, fern corner gets neglected. Those plants like to be watered every day, and I am somebody that needs a plant that likes to be watered at most once a week. Don't buy fern if you're like me. Last but not least, do not buy plants that you do not have the light for. Now, I have also made this mistake, and that's why I have several grow lights in my plant room. If you do not want to spend money on grow lights, be diligent about buying low light plants, or understand your lighting. If you have bright lights, be diligent about buying bright light plants. Don't think that you can have succulents in your low light north facing windows. Those succulents will stretch or they will die. All right, I better go give my anxious dog some attention, even though I've taken him on like a 1.5 mile walk and played fetch with him for 30 minutes. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, And if you would like to follow me on Instagram, it's Amazie's Plants. And subscribe if you would like to see more planty content. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.